Hey, I am TC, your girlfriend, not girlfriend, and the most honest F buddy you've never had. Today's topic, the ideal person for a friends with benefits relationship. Let's get into it. The ideal person for a friends with benefits relationship is going to be someone who's a good communicator. When you're considering people who may have trouble speaking their mind, confronting confrontation, or just speaking up in general, they may not be the best candidate for a relationship like this because there are going to be times, like I've discussed in previous videos, where there are rules that are said and rules that are not said. The only way to know when you've broken one of those silent rules, rules that are not spoken upon, is if they speak on it. Another thing is the only way you know if they're not feeling great about something you may have done, maybe a rule for them in their head that you may have broken and didn't know about, is if they speak up on it. You want a great communicator in a friends with benefits relationship because you're going to be able to better assess how you want to maneuver through your friends with benefits relationship and what is going to keep both of you guys having fun and feeling extremely comfortable to explore together. The next characteristic, which knowing me, it should have been first, but the next characteristic that I feel like is super important is an honest / trustworthy person. I feel like those two go hand in hand because if you are honest, then someone should be able to trust you. And for someone to be able to trust you, you have to be exhibiting pretty high levels of honesty. This is important because at the end of the day, this is a complicated and nuanced relationship. The rules are not set in stone and they are not the same for every friends with benefits relationship. Now, of course, in every relationship in general, rules are not the same. However, like I spoke about in a previous video, there are some standard rules that you can kind of count on to be in your relationship. Whereas friends with benefits relationships, you guys are making the rules up as you go. And it is based off how those people best maneuver when they are trying to get comfortable and trying to share high levels of intimacy. So if you can't trust this person to be honest with you, then you being able to truly feel comfortable in your dynamic is not really going to work. You're always going to be thinking about whatever it is that you are not comfortable with that they're doing, saying, not saying, because you just don't know. You may even feel like being super honest with this person isn't even something that you're comfortable with doing because you don't trust this person and you don't truly feel comfortable in your dynamic. So involving yourself with an honest and trustworthy person not only elevates your experience, but it elevates their experience because it allows you to be your more true and authentic self and show up and be ready to have fun each and every time you guys meet up. The next super important trait I feel like the ideal friends with benefits candidate would have is being consistent / emotionally stable. So I pair these two together because a consistent person, it's not just dealing with emotions. It's more so dealing with temperament and behavior, but emotional stability gets attached to that because you're going to need that person to be able to be more consistent emotionally throughout this friends with benefits relationship. It's important for both of you guys to feel like you are moving forward in your dynamic. And when I say moving forward, I don't mean moving to this ascending place of commitment, but I mean that you guys are moving forward in your levels of trust and your levels of comfortability and your levels of exploration and your levels of sharing. You want to feel like you're moving forward. You're deepening that friendship with this person. And in order to do that, it's difficult to do it with a person that isn't really consistent or emotionally stable. If they have like waving temperaments where sometimes they're super happy and sometimes they're super down and things like that, you're not sure which version of that person may show up the next time you guys meet. So you're constantly worrying about and trying to game out the next time you guys see one another and not necessarily just really enjoying each and every time you see each other and you're thinking about seeing each other. So when a person is more consistent, it's like a piece of the puzzle that you don't have to worry about because friends with benefits relationships are very much like puzzles. I feel like, I just made this up, but I feel like they are very much friendship puzzles. You're adding pieces as you go. You're finding out more about this person as you go, and you're creating like this one big, beautiful friendship puzzle display. And on that puzzle display has all you guys' adventures and you guys' interests and you guys the time you spent together, and all of that. So when a person is not consistent or a person is too emotionally unstable, you're not spending all the time that you could enjoying playing this puzzle game with one another and adding more pieces. because you may be spending more time trying to game out if this person is even wanting to add a puzzle the next time you guys see each other, if this person is even emotionally able to add another piece the next time you see each other. So that's my take on that. I don't know how my analogy went over, but I think I kind of like it. The next quality for the ideal friends with benefits candidate to have is independence. Is this person able to move in life alone? Getting involved with a person that is either too emotionally reliant on another person, or this person doesn't really have much going on or much ambition for the future, it puts them in a situation where they can lean on you too much, or it puts you in a situation where you can have somebody leaning on you too much. And that escalates the probability that this person may become more attached than you want them to and faster than you want them to. A person that is independent, they have their own stuff going on. More than likely, they came into this friends with benefits relationship already knowing why they wanted it and knowing that they want to remain there. Now, it's not to say that they will stay there, but just it will take them longer to defy what they've already put in their mind as to why they've entered into this relationship than it would a person who maybe is less independent, a person who may have less going on or is less stable or just needs another person. So definitely an independent person is somebody, super green flags, yes, do it. But you don't want them to be so independent that they do not think about you before doing certain stuff, because that could happen. They could be like just all about them for real and they just doing their own thing. So be careful, balance that. But definitely a person that is independent, ambitious, has things going for themselves, is stable within themselves, can be alone. That's a good personality trait for a person who you're considering entering into a friends with benefits relationship with. The next great quality I feel like is ideal for a friends with benefits candidate to have is emotional intelligence and being respectful. So I put these two together because I feel like respect comes from a place of having a level of emotional intelligence. How does the things that you do make the other people around you feel, right? So a person who is pretty knowledgeable of this or thinks about this and is pretty good at gaming that out is a pretty good candidate for a friends with benefits relationship, because they will be able to do excellent in that silent rules category. Remember we talked about that in a previous video? If you weren't here, you should go back and watch it. But in a previous video, we talked about those silent rules that maybe they're just unspoken. There are things that you don't really know that you need to say, and if they do come about, then you do speak on them, but sometimes you don't really need them to come about and to be spoken on. A person with emotional intelligence and is respectful can kind of police themselves without you really needing to give them that blueprint. This is helpful because it helps build that trust, right? You're trusting that this person respects you. You're trusting that this person is thinking of you before they're doing certain things. It just helps you be a lot more comfortable and willing to open up to this person, willing to continue to share time with this person. So it's just a really great quality that further elevates the relationship, in my opinion. And the last quality, I kind of lumped up 3 qualities in this one, but I feel like they go hand in hand. A rational, logical, practical person. So this person is going to be able to maintain high levels of emotional stability and be more consistent in what they say they wanted coming into this. And that is a really good candidate for a friends with benefits relationship. Because if you are a person like me and you already know, the chances of me wanting something further is very, very slim, I promise you. And you are dealing with a person who is rational, logical, and practical, they are going to take that, they are going to understand that, and it is going to be their guide to keeping their emotions in check as you maneuver through this relationship. So that is pretty much all I have to say on this topic. As always, if you want me to add more detail or bring in some examples from my own personal friends with benefits relationships, I have no problem doing that. I love doing that. However, for now, this is all I have to say on the topic. Until the next video, guys, be free, have fun, be safe, and enjoy.